Wyatt Earp and the shootout at the OK Corral have become a Wild West legend. By some accounts, Wyatt was a vigilante murderer. By other accounts, he was a respected lawman and hero. Those who knew him best would describe him as a successful miner, a saloon owner, as well as a gambler who had a taste for prostitutes. The shootout in Tombstone was said to last only 30 seconds, so it makes sense that the incident cannot define him as a man or describe his life in full. When the Earp brothers moved to Tombstone, it was a mining boomtown, and that was attractive to Wyatt. He bought the Oriental Saloon and was known to hang out at Big Nose Kate's and the Birdcage Theater, though both places had a bad reputation in town. Wyatt's brother Virgil worked as a U.S. Marshal, Wyatt was his deputy sheriff, and Morgan worked for the Wells Fargo Company. Because of Wyatt's passion for gambling and saloons, he often hung out with outlaws in the area. It is said the Earp brothers knew the Clantons and the McGlory gangs, who were also involved in the shootout. The circumstances leading up to the legendary shootout are best told by Wyatt's lifelong friend, Bat Masterson.
Wyatt Earp is one of the few men I personally knew in the West in the early days, whom I regard as absolutely devoid of physical fear. The Earps and the stagecoach robbers knew each other personally, and it was on the account that Morgan had been selected to guard the treasure the coach carried. The Wells Fargo Company believed that so long as it kept one of the Earps in the coach, the property was safe. And it was. No coach was ever held up in that country upon one of the Earp boys were rolling golf. These were men who had made up their minds to hold up and rob the Tombstone stage. In order to do so, with as little friction as possible, they must get rid of Morgan Earp. They finally concluded to try diplomacy. They sent word to Morgan, later employed of the Wells Fargo Express coach. They intended to hold up the stagecoach upon what he acted as guard, but didn't want to do it as long as the coach was in his charge. Good old Morgan sent back word that he would not quit, that they had better not try to hold him up. There would be trouble. Trouble. Clan made his escape, but in doing so, stamped himself as a coward of the first magnitude. No sooner had the shooting commenced than he threw down his pistol with both his hands high above his head, ran it wide up, and begged him not to kill him. Wyatt showed no kind of stuff that there was in him, for instead of killing Clanton, as most other man would have done, he told him to run and get away. There were at the time two other outlaw bands in that country, who when they heard of the killing of McMurray brothers and Dick Clanton, you know, in the OK Corral shootout, sort of wiped out the Earp family and all their friends. They had no notion, however, of giving the Earps any more battle open. And the future killings would be done from ambush, and first to get potted by the guerrilla system of warfare was Virgil Earp. As he was crossing one of them prominent corners of the Tombstone, one night he was fired up by somebody I didn't know, but afterwards learned to got him killed. The next to get murdered was Morgan Earp, who got shot through a window one night while playing a game of pin pool with friends. Quite didn't realize it was only a question of time until he had all his friends be killed in the same manner as his brother, if he remained in the town. So he organized a party consisting of himself, good old boy Doc Holliday, Jack Vermillion, Sherman McMahon, and Bill Johnson. And after equipping them with a horse and guns, plenty of ammunition, started out on the warpath, intending to kill every one of them boys he could find. Any one of them boys who had anything in hand in murder, and his brother Morgan, and he attempted the assassination of the good old Verge. And that's my recollection.
Wyatt avenged the murder of Morgan when he killed Curly Bill and Frank Stillwell. It seems the Corral shootout and the death of his brother changed him as he gave up his passion for saloons and gambling. He left Tombstone for good soon after, and he brought his future third wife, Josephine, a speculated prostitute, with him. The two traveled to other mining boom towns in Nevada, San Diego, and Alaska before retiring to Vidal, California with a small fortune. They purchased a mine in the San Bernardino Mountains and spent summers in Los Angeles. The two remained together until Wyatt's death in 1929. He lived to be 81.